Hey everyone, Alan with the Magic Minute here, where we take tricks and turn them into real magic, the only show on YouTube dedicated to mentoring you in the art of magic. Today I'm going to show you how to fan a deck of cards 3 different ways. This is great for beginners and intermediates, so stay tuned. The way you do the one-hand fan is quite easy. It's that first one I learned, and it's really a great one to learn if you're just starting out learning how to fan a deck of cards. You have the full pack in your hand, but you only need about half of them. If you try to do it with the full pack, it's going to be a hard time. So I just break off half with my thumb, and then I position them into my fingers like this. This is called a straddle grip. So I have my index finger along one side, the pinky against the other long side, the 2 fingers in the middle supporting, and the thumb on top, trying to get them all square. And then I'm going to place my thumb on the bottom corner nearest my pinky, and then my thumb is going to push forward and my fingers are going to curl into a fist, completing the fan. Now I'm doing this in slow motion, so you see the kind of disarray version of the cards. This should be done in one smooth motion, like that. It's not too difficult, but you want to make sure that the cards are squared before you start. Use no more than half of the deck. Make sure they're completely square. Thumb bottom right corner as close as you can. Thumb pushes forward, fingers curl into a fist, and the fan is completed. So the thumb fan is a little bit harder to do than the one-handed fan, but it is the classic fan. It's a very circular design, and it's the one that everyone seems to know. It's not too difficult to perform either. It's really just about a knack of how much pressure you're applying to the cards and where. You want to have the deck completely squared, and I just do that with my fingers and thumbs, square along all edges. And then I place it into my palm here. These 3 fingers along the far side, the thumb flat across the top, and it pushed pretty deeply into the crotch of my thumb. Where people mostly get hung up on this is not being able to complete a circle, the piece of meat right here blocking the motion or the path of the cards. So you want to make sure that you leave enough room and position the cards in such a way that these cards can move freely when rotated on their axis through that little tunnel there. Head along the 3 fingers there, thumb across the front, and then your thumb of your opposite hand comes over and bevels the cards in a sweeping circular motion. Now I'm doing this slow motion again, but there it is, okay? Watch how my thumb of my right hand bevels the cards on their path. Without that beveling, it won't happen. I'm also squeezing the cards with my left hand, not so firmly that they won't spread, but pretty firmly, and that helps create an even spread. You want them to spread across your fingers in an even fashion. So I do apply a pretty decent amount of pressure, downward pressure with my thumb and upward pressure with my fingers. To close it, my fingers pull in and walk the deck backwards into the hand. Again, fingers walking it back and closing it up. The most difficult of all 3 fans I'm going to show you today is the pressure fan. It requires a lot more timing and sensitive pressure with both hands, but it will yield the most consistent results of any of the fans I've shown you. This will even work with a very old deck of cards or deck of cards that won't fan through any other means, and you'll get a very beautiful circular fan every time. The shape is very similar to the thumb fan, but a little bit wider, and just a very pretty display of the cards. The way this is performed is you're going to start with the cards just like you would in the thumb fan, that same position, except now your right hand is going to come over and grasp the cards in what's called a biddle grip. You're going to apply pressure, springing the cards upwards. You push down with pressure against the first finger of the left hand, and then sweep in a circular motion towards the palm of the left hand. You apply steady, even pressure, slowly, and the cards will, one at a time, spring out in a smooth fashion. This is not a choppy action. No cards should be springing out of your hands. Done very smoothly, very steadily, everything under control. It is difficult to perform when you're learning because of the amount of pressure that you have to experiment with to get the desired result. If you enjoyed this content, I'd appreciate a thumbs up, and I'd love to hear from you down below, especially if this is your first time on this channel. If you have any questions about any of the fans that I taught here, I'd love to have those questions down below too, and I can give you further help or advice. If you're new to the channel, I have a playlist I'll put right here to take you to some of the other magic I think you'll enjoy, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Cheers.